p.m. show. How many shows did you do?
You were on the fastest route despite some traffic.
Day at one point in time.
The most I ever did in one day, like full sets, not just like a 10-minute spot, 4 shows, four full 1-hour shows. But yeah, we were doing matinee shows at his house.
It's wild. It's wild. Like, you know, we'd go down there and see the signs and all the big names. Like, this is crazy. Like, who the fuck is doing that?
You know, because I was doing, they were calling them kid shows because I was allowing all ages. Bob Fisher was bending the rules to let me have that.
In 400 meters, keep left to continue on Neferstrasse, B173.
Great. Because Huract is perfect for that.
But, you know, I mean, I tailored it. I tailored it. So, you know, of course, you know, you take the cuss words of certain topics, but for the most part, it's a friendly show.
You can do that, is what I'm saying.
Keep left to continue on Neferstrasse.
You could float in and out of that world. You know, you could be clean and then you can fuck around.
A little bit, yeah.
Continue on B173 for 1 kilometer.
Yeah.
A little cut loose. So the set you would hear at 2 o'clock probably isn't the set you'd hear at, you know, the 10:30 show.
Yeah. So you go from that to doing Dodger Stadium.
Well, there was a couple shows in between.
I know. What the fuck, dude? What is that? That had to be a trip. What the fuck was that like?
You know what? I thought that I was going to be super nervous doing that show, but it was probably one of the most calm experiences for me as far as like not feeling pressure, because it felt more like a celebration versus me having to perform. Like, all these people are already here because they know what I've done over the years.
Right.
And it's not like, oh, I got to make sure, I hope I have a good set.
Right.
There's, I forget how many people total, but there were so many people there that all they want is for you to do good.
Right.
They want to see you succeed. They want this to go well for you.
Bro, that's so crazy.
And to feel that energy of people.
In 400 meters, use the right lane to take the A72 slip road to U3, Leipzig.
Wanting you to succeed, wanting you to do good.
Wow.
You know, people that were there for the ride back at the Ice House, you know, 20 some odd years ago.
Look at all those
and
people.
So, yeah.
That is insane. That's insane.
It was a beautiful.
Use the right lane to take the A72 slip road.
I was choked up in the first 30 seconds walking out there because they just kept cheering, like, you know.
In 500 meters, merge onto A72.
We did it. And it was over after that. So it was a big emotional, you know, show for me. On Netflix, it was an hour and almost 2 hours, but the actual night I was on stage for over 3.
Wow.
And they could not get me off that stage. Because then I broke out a bottle of tequila, and then I turned it into a big quinceañera, is what I did at the end. And I got fined by Dodger Stadium for going over the time.
That's hilarious.
If you run the light at the club, it's, all right, come on.
How much they fine you? Well, you don't have to say.
It was over 100.
Oh, Jesus.
Continue on A72 for 4 kilometers.
Christ, Dodger. Come on, guys. Stop being cunts. Is that like operating costs? Like, what is that?
Well, you got to figure all the costs that go into, like, you know, the union, the staff. I mean, there's so many people out of there. Yes, I'd do it all over again.
In 3 kilometers, at the 17 Kreuz Chemnitz junction, use the right 2 lanes to follow signs for A4 towards Görlitz, Dresden.
The greatest night of my life, and so happy to pay the fine.
That's amazing. That's what, when I saw Bill Burr do Fenway Park, a similar sort of situation. Yeah, holy shit.
And to do it in your hometown.
Yeah,
that's the best part. I think it's always harder to get love at home. You know, that's why you go out on the road and you do your thing. And I think that getting that love at home, like I never got to perform at a comedy club at home until I became successful on the road. I didn't get the laugh factories, the comedy stores, the improvs until I went out and did.
That doesn't make sense though. Why would that be true? Were you hanging around?
You gotta figure 20 some odd years ago,
Kreuz Chemnitz Junction, use the right 2 lanes to follow signs for A4 towards Görlitz, Dresden.
I think he's right. They're like those dingy bar shows. There's something about those shows that teach it a little extra.
It's humbling.
Yeah.
The cool part is that I was used to.
At the 17 Kreuz Chemnitz Junction, use the right 2 lanes to follow signs for A4 towards Görlitz.
In places like that.
Continue on A4 for 67 kilometers.
Before I actually got an audience that was willing to just be quiet and listen.
Yes.
So I felt like, oh wow, that was hard. Because you have to come out the gate swinging to get people in a bar, people that are focused on the game, focused on trying there's a lot more. I've met so many comics online that I haven't met face to face yet, which I think is crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, we're a little scattered now. You know, it's like not like a home base anymore. You know, it used to be home bases were New York and LA. Now LA's kind of like fucked, and Austin is more of a home base for a lot of comics than LA. And New York is different than it used to be. You know, a lot of guys kind of moved to different places during the pandemic. So it's weird. It's weird. It's like this. Like I guess the cellar is a great place to go and hang out with people, and the store is still a great place if you know who's going to be there to hang out with people. But that's half the fun for me. I mean, I know it's like in the early days you were getting phone numbers and learning about gigs, but it's also you're hanging out with comics. You know, that is my favorite thing.
because you're all talking about comedy, and you can't talk about comedy with people that don't get it.
Exactly.
Trying to talk to my brother about it. He's like, oh yeah, it sounds cool. I'm like, you don't understand, and it's just like,
Yeah, you have to talk to people who are actually doing it, and you know, they're just the most fun to talk to. Like when we have shows at the mothership, and then afterwards we're hanging out in the green room, we're just laughing and talking shit and slapping the couch and having a good time, and everyone's just getting on everybody, and it's fun. It's really fun, man. It's a good time. Music's playing. You know, it's like one of the coolest parties you could ever be a part of, and it happens like almost every night. We're always laughing, like, God damn, we're so lucky.
yeah, because we could be doing something completely different, but
You do something that sucks, and you gotta appreciate it.
the beauty of just laughter and just being able to hang out and be real and just hang out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's amazing. It's we're very fortunate we found it, you know.
It's the one job where it's like normally when you're done, you punch out and you go home. But like once you get off stage, like, okay, now we're not just hang out and watch everybody else and get a drink. You know? Hey, how come you don't have food at your club? Sorry, I just put that
Why
out
do
there.
you not want to have food at my club? Because it's a distraction. Do you want to look down and see people eating while they're watching a show? They're there for a show.
I get it.
Yeah. I get it with you. I get what you're saying. But, yeah, no. It gets in the way. It used to be no food at the store, and then they started adding food, and it was just like, I think it just gets in the way. I mean, I don't have a problem with clubs that do it. I've matching, I get it, but that's not for me. I get it that people want to collect them, numbers match them, but it's just for them. It's like they say to the other numbers matching guys, and everyone's like, numbers matching.
But yeah, there's more people that just want to enjoy the car, have fun with the car, and they could care less with the numbers.
You want to not be sucking gas fumes through the exhaust. Like how bad some of those smell.
Oh man, yeah. When you have a car that's over 40 years old, you get used to the smell of gas.
Yeah, they stink of gas.
And then you think at first it's leaking, and no, it's not.
coaster shop build, man. Fucking love it.
I saw it online. It looks cool.
Oh, I fucking love
really,
it.
really
It's
cool.
so fun. It's so fun.
I had done as much as I could to modify the car to make it safe. So, like, for example, I put LEDs. I took out the old stuff and I put LEDs so that it's bright. Changed the cluster inside to make sure that it was all digital and bright so that I could see it.
Yeah.
And I had people getting upset with me over it. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, I just want to enjoy the car.
Oh, because you were changing the original stuff.
Let me just.
You gotta stop talking to those fools. Those people are idiots. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Everyone's gonna die. Everyone.
And then someone else is gonna enjoy it.
Just enjoy it. Don't try to, like, there's plenty of them that are out there that are stock. It's not like we're running out of them.
You know, I gotta tell you, I bought something really cool last week, and I got a chance to play with it yesterday. I bought a 1994 Ford Mustang Cobra. The difference between that and anything else out there is that it only had 12 miles on it.
Oh, wow.
And it's, yeah, so
It's like a stealer car.
it was covered in plastic. It still had the sticker in the window. It still had all the different, the barcodes and just everything on it. So I had to rip the plastic off the seats.
Whoa.
And that for me was the coolest thing. It's just like,
From a
wow.
1994 car.
1994. And so the guy who bought it, I guess, was a collector of Mustangs. And he just bought it and he let it sit. And he kept it in a temperature controlled room. And I guess something happened where, it became available. And I jumped on it. And I'm like, because 1994 is the year I graduated high school, and that's the car I wanted. And so I think it's cool that I'm able to buy a brand new old car.
That's crazy. How many of those are out there?
Yeah, that's, I got lucky. I found it online and I just jumped. I'm like, it's mine.
It's funny how cars, like, not just muscle cars, because muscle cars are fast, but cars like a Volkswagen, they're fun to drive, even if they're slow. It's like so much more engaging than a regular car. It's like you're on a little ride, like you're in a go-kart.
That's exactly what it is. And then you're sitting high. It's a different experience. It's like, now you can get an SUV, and of course you're up there, but to be that high up, and then your face is the windshield's right here.
Yeah.
No safety. You hit anything and you're just bye.
And you feel everything. You feel every bump and twist in the road.
You got the wheel and you're sitting over the wheel, so it's just
Suspension sucks. Everything. You can't go around a corner. It's terrible. Yeah.
I actually got up on two wheels one time by accident, and I'm lucky I didn't die. I was getting on the freeway and I just cut the corner too hard, and I felt it, man. And then you just boom.
It's really interesting because a car does not have to be fast to be engaging. That's like what I think gets lost with a lot of these paddle shifter cars, these new cars. Everybody's just trying to go 0 to 60 faster and get around the Nürburgring faster, but that's not really what makes a car fun. Like, you don't really drive like that in real life. You'd rather have a car that's more fun, slower. Because, like, some cars, like my Tesla, if I'm going 80, you don't even notice you're going 80 miles an hour. It just goes whoosh, and all of a sudden you're going 80. But if I'm going 80 in, like, an old Porsche, you feel everything. You feel it, like it's, like, exciting. Everything is, like, alive. I have an old 1993 RS America, so it's got no power steering, no air conditioning, no radio, no nothing. Air-cooled, super light, tiny little car. And it only has like 300 horsepower. But it's like one of my favorite cars to drive.
But you feel everything.
Yeah, it's a ride.
Everything. You are part of the car.
It's a Disneyland ride.
Part of that car.
Yeah. I mean, it's slow as shit compared to like my Tesla.
But if you're doing 80 in that versus 80 in the Tesla, you feel like, wow, I'm going at 100 miles an hour.
You feel alive. You feel like you're on a motorcycle or something. It's crazy. It's like, and it's also the way they handle. Like, you feel the tires brake. Like, you have like a connection to the tires. Like, when you hit the limit, you feel it kick out, and you know where that limit is. Like, it's almost like your shoes. When you're sliding. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how to stop yourself sliding.
You're waiting to see the smoke. Like, any second now, something's gonna snap, and you're gonna have to pull over.
Well, those cars too, the engine's in the back, so the ass end kicks out around corners. And if you're going around a corner and you let off the gas,
You fishtail it.
yeah, like especially those old, the old turbos, those old wild ones that people got. Those things, they call them Widowmakers. But giant ass engine in the back, skids out real easy. go around a corner, let off the gas, you spin around in a circle and crash.
Good luck. Yeah.
You have to teach people to keep their foot on the gas when they're going around a corner. That's crazy.
Fortunately, I don't have the need for speed as much. If I have a nice little straightaway, I'll get it on the 405 if there's an opportunity. All my driving I do after midnight.
Oh, you like to get out of the house?
I get out of the house at night, and I like taking my drives between midnight and 3 in the morning because there's nobody out there.
Just enjoy driving.
And I can just drive.
Yeah.
So I'll do a lap. So I'll take like the 605 to the 210 to the 134, and I'll just go through LA.
Do you know who Magnus Walker is?
Another name?
Magnus Walker is this Porsche expert. He rebuilds old Porsches, makes them amazing. But he has these videos about Porsches that are like a love letter to Porsche. So he takes these old Porsches and drives them on the highway. And he's a cool looking dude. He's got crazy dreadlocks and fucking wears funky clothes and shit. I think he made his money in the clothing business. Pretty sure. And so he has this warehouse in downtown LA where he keeps all these Porsches. And he's got a video where he gets out and drives them. So that's like...
He looks like a Magnus.
Yeah, that's Magnus. He's got a cool English accent. But see if you can find one of the videos. Because there's a video of him, I think it's called 9/11 Outlaw. There was a video called 9/11 Outlaw, I think. It was like one of the oldest videos where it just sort of, it like, Urban Outlaw, that's it. So this was like the video where I found out about this a long ass time ago. But this dude makes all these cars. Give me some volume. So this is a real old car. This is probably like a 68 or a 69 or something like that. And he's got, like just sort of a juiced up stock engine, but it's all air cooled. Everything is super, super lightweight. Like that car only weighs 2,000 pounds. And when, he's got like little air ducts he's put into the side. A lot of the stuff that he's done in the car is very custom. But listen to that. So then he takes these motherfuckers out downtown LA, and it's, when you watch him do it, it's very addicting. Like, here, give him.
It's just such red and blue streak. I even wrote a lot of the Porsche factory in the engine.
Go earlier when you see him actually going fast in these things. No. Yeah. Yeah. So this is it. Like, that is a beautiful little car. And it's not fast, not compared to modern standards, but the pleasure you get out of driving one of those things. It's like everything is analog. You feel every bump. It's like it's all just giving you feedback. It's exciting. And
you see there's no traffic and he's enjoying it. It's a nighttime drive and he's going to actually, give it gas if he wants to or chill.
This is before the pandemic, though. God, now it's goddamn zombie.
I'm not going to lie. I kind of enjoyed the drives during that. I think that's what got me out of the house.
Middle of the pandemic.
Yeah. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, I just mean in downtown LA. Downtown LA is fucked. It's fucked. So, I don't even know if he's still there anymore. This is quite a while ago. I would have fucked him.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, but I mean, I would have, if I was in downtown LA, I really would have. Like, that place is crazy. Did I remember filming Fear Factor in downtown LA in like 2003 or something like that? It was crazy back then. I was like, this is wild. There's so many homeless people down there.
It is insane. The amount of, 10 cities everywhere you look.
Insane.
Everywhere you look, and it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah. What the hell?
So much. It's like, and what kills me is some of these tents have like electricity, like they got generators and TVs. I'm like, whoa, are you homeless or are you camping?
Poles and shit. They're opening up poles and pulling wires out and diverting power. Some of these guys are like homeless electricians.
Yeah, no, it's like, okay, that's, I feel like that they're making that choice.
Well, there's probably, as fucked up as it is, some kind of community to being a part of this struggle with all these other people that are sleeping on the streets, And then there's open air drug use. back in eventually, and then the other places, they get bigger and bigger. The places where they're neglected, they just keep getting bigger.
That's all I'm saying. Is they're getting kicked out, and then they're finding, they're not like, oh, that community is now over here.
It's crazy that this was never an issue when we were kids. It was never an issue. Like, when do you remember when you were kids?
Ever seen tents?
Never. And it's like, we're just supposed to accept that there's nothing that can be done. Like, what are you gonna do? Now there's tents. No, what did you do? What the fuck did you neglect that you let these people camp out on streets? Why would you let that happen, ever? And is it encouraging them if you do let them do that? I mean, I don't know. But I know there's a lot of them and you're letting them do it. It seems like there's more all the time. You're letting them do it, and there used to be none. There used to be no tents anymore. So tell me what the fuck you're doing. Well, we have a very comprehensive homeless outreach program that doesn't do jack shit. We ran my friend Cole Noir is a lawyer, and he was in San Francisco talking to them about it. And he was like, what is the problem here? Is it a lack of funding? And this guy was talking goes, no, the opposite. The people that are on these homeless commissions, they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So he shows this list to us of all the people in LA that are making money, they're supposed to be managing the homeless. Some of them are making $250,000 a year. And they're out there, well, we're doing our best to outreach and give them safe crack pipes. Like, it's madness. It's complete madness.
And no understanding of the situation.
Well, not only that, they have no incentive. The people that are running it, if the homeless problem goes away, they don't have a job.
In 3 kilometers, take exit 78 Dresden Altstadt towards Meißner Landstraße, B6.
So what are they going to do? They're going to make sure it's manageable. And, well, we need more funding. We're very close to cracking this problem. We're going to need more funding. And they just keep getting more funding. And, I mean, it has to be addressed like an environmental problem. Like, if there was a leak, an oil leak in the middle of the street, and all those places where the tents were, there was just giant puddles of oil that were coming out of the ground. They would have to deal with that. They would go, we have an environmental issue. It's just real. It's getting into the water supply. It's poisoning. We can fix it, but it's going to take a lot of resources and time, but we're going to do it. Yeah. You've got it. Because you have an environmental problem. It's just humans. And you've got to figure it out through a compassionate solution. You got to do it with a sense of community, but you can't just let people fucking camp everywhere. Crazy assholes. Like, it's not going to get better. What are you going to bury your head in the sand until you're the president? What are you going to do? You're going to just escape from LA after leaving the whole state of California, fucking disaster? Move to the White House? Is that the move? Is that how it works? Because no one's fixing it. They're not fixing it in New York. New York is fucking crazy.
Another mess.
Crazy. San Francisco's the worst. San Francisco is like a failed state. San Francisco might as well be Libya. That place is wild.
Yeah.
People are just shitting in the streets.
Crime is next level in San Francisco. It is
Next level.
It is stupid.
People are parking their cars and leaving their windows rolled down and their hatches open.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to get smashed.
And it doesn't matter what time of day. It doesn't matter who's around.
Doesn't matter who's around. No one's stopping anybody from doing anything. It's crazy. It's crazy how quick San Francisco fucked. Because everyone's pulling out of there. Hotels are pulling out. Like supermarkets or chains like Walgreens pulling out.
In 600 meters, take exit 78 Dresden Altstadt towards Meißner Landstraße, B6.
It's becoming a ghost town, and they're not pumping the brakes on it.
I don't know what they do now at this point. What do? They don't have the resources to fix it now. Because they fucked it up so bad for so long, and they would have to admit that all of their policies.
Take exit 78 Dresden Altstadt.
Sucked. And nobody's gonna do that. Nobody's gonna do that. What are you gonna do, Fluffy? You gonna make your way to Texas?
Hey, man.
Continue for 1.5 kilometers.
You know how many times I've been...
Fluffy. Let's go. We're gonna wine you and dine you this weekend.
You know how many times I've come close to moving out here?
How many times?
Ooh, man. I've been talking about San Antonio for at least 10 years.
San Antonio's dope.
At least 10 years. Yeah, it's right up the street.
I got a good real estate agent.
I actually already own a house in San Antonio.
Do you?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, I bought it a long time ago.
Oh.
But it's just, I feel like I'm going to get homesick. And I feel like,
fly back home when you want to.
You keep...
Whenever you feel bad, fly back home and go, what the fuck is wrong with me? And after a while, San Antonio will be your new home. And there's that nice club out there, too. Was it
Yeah,
LOL?
they got LOL.
Yeah. place. The guy who owns that place just got in trouble. Some sort of federal shit. Bribery shit. Yeah.
Always something.
Yeah. I was looking at buying it a few years ago. But there was
Turn right.
a lot of problems. And they wanted way too much money for it. And then I found this cult theater. The theater was owned by the cult. And
Continue on B6 for 2 kilometers.
I got out of that deal once there was problems with that place too. And then we got this place. I'm excited to show it to you tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited.
But yeah, to answer your question, I've come close. I've come close to coming to Texas a few times. I've actually thought about Texas and Florida.
Yeah?
I know. So people were like, what, really? Yeah.
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 Yeah. When shit gets weird, you start wondering, like, it's gotta be somewhere else.
You find yourself shaking your head and you're like, wow, what the hell are we doing?
What the hell are we doing?
You know, it's like, I'm paying for this? Like, what? What are we?
And also, there was the psychological aspect of it. That was what was driving me crazy. People that I knew were morons, like the mayor of LA. The psychological aspect of having that guy having any control over what I do with my time, what I do with for a living, what I can and can't do, what I'm allowed to do and not allowed to do, based on whatever guidelines he's presenting. Bro, you can eat shit. That guy's a moron. And I don't like taking instruction from people that I know are bought and paid morons. And that was just so frustrating because before that, you never had to deal with the mayors. You never thought about the mayor. What was the mayor going to do that's going to affect your life? You would vote for the people that you thought had the best policies and, supported the school systems and whatever you hoped that they would do. But you never thought they would keep you from working.
No.
Who the fuck saw that coming? And keep you from even doing outdoor shows and even outdoor dining? These people were maniacs. And they were in charge of telling everybody what to do. And I was like, this is not good. And there's too many people in this town that think there's something good about being compliant. There's something good about, like, we're doing it for everyone else. Like, are you fucking sure? Are you sure these morons know what they're doing? Are you sure?
More businesses have, went under, and then,
God.
if you were lucky enough to recover or just weather the storm, that's one thing, but most people didn't.
Yeah, and not only that, those businesses, I bet all those people got COVID anyway. Everybody got COVID anyway, I bet. And I bet if those people got COVID and recovered, they would have been safe to run their fucking store. Like, they just took the decision out of people's hands, and it's been proven that it was a disaster. It was a disaster for the economy. It was a disaster for mental health. It was a disaster for people's careers. It was a disaster for people's long-term businesses that they had to close, family businesses that they had restaurants for 30 years. The local neighborhood places that everybody went to. Sorry, you can't work for a year and a half. They just bled people out. And meanwhile, these big giant stores, they just made more and more money because they're the only places you can go. And they told people their job was essential or non-essential. Like, who the fuck are you? Yeah, guess what's non-essential? You fucking half-wit, telling people what they can and can't do based on what? Not even no debating the science of it, no real conversations with experts that had disagreeing opinions. It was gross, man. I was happy to get out of there.
And then we wonder why there's so many tent cities.
That Gavin Newsom guy's running for president. He's already started campaigning without campaigning. He just did Sean Hannity. And he's just ringing up California, talking about how great California is.
Every day I think about leaving, but it's still home. I tell people, when they say, "What? You still, yeah." I love. It's home. And that's what it is, and that's the hard part. Even though I'm a traveling comic, yeah, I know.
In 400 meters, slide left onto Bremer Strasse, B6, Seinsfeld Centrum, Kongresszentrum.
I say, yeah, it's like
Coming every now and then with like a fully armored armada and just lock everything down.
And I got my little sanctuary that I've worked on, for so many years to make my
Exactly
spot.
how you like it. Yeah.
And then it's like,
Head east on Hamburger Strasse, B6 towards Hamburger Strasse 39.
But then I see that at the end of the year when I'm getting taxed, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Like that, the tax alone would pay for everything in Texas.
Those tax people are so silly. They want so much money. I wish it was going somewhere. I wish it was going somewhere really good. Like if the taxes were very high, but then you looked at the quality of life that you get from it, and you're like, wow, they do an amazing job with all this tax money. No, they do a terrible job.
In 300 meters, slide left onto Bremer Strasse, B6, Seinsfeld Centrum, Kongresszentrum.
It's fucking overrun with bureaucracy and too many people, and nothing gets fixed and nothing gets done. It's like, blah.
Yeah, I still see the potholes. I hit them.
Yeah, that's minor. That's minor. The homelessness is the biggest one. Like, that is bonkers. That you think you are doing your job if you are governing a city that has 100,000 homeless people or whatever it is. What do we say it is? 65? They guess. They're guessing. They ain't doing a fucking survey.
No, you're all...
Slide left onto Bremer Strasse, B6, Seinsfeld Centrum, Kongresszentrum.
What is it like here?
It's nothing. There's homeless people.
Continue on B6 for 1.5 kilometers.
There's people in every city, but there's way less. And they cleaned up all the tents around the city. Every now and then they pop up under the bridge, but they clean them up, and then they come back, and then they clean them up, and they come back. But at least they clean them up. At least they don't allow them to accumulate and become like a village, like in San Francisco. Whereas like San Francisco, essentially they have these open-air drug dens. Michael Schellenberger wrote a great book about it called San Francisco, and he talks about how these progressive policies are just destroying these cities. It's like, you have to make a correction. They're not making a correction. So what are you going to do?
I wish I had the answer for that, yeah.
When you go on the road, do you go on the road for just weekends, or do you do like long stretches?
I guess it depends on if it's a big tour. Like right now, I'm just doing nothing but clubs. So after the Dodger Stadium show,
Nice.
My agent, my manager wanted me to ride the wave of the success of the special and go back and tour hard. And I'm like, no, I want to just pump the brakes for a little bit. I want to remind myself why I love this so much. So I said I just want to do nothing but clubs for at least half a year. And so just doing shows, I'll still do, my 4 sets a week, because I was doing, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But now I'm just doing it at one place, and then doing 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. So get my sets in and go home.
In 400 meters, turn left onto Magdeburger Strasse, Voltastrasse.
And yeah, I'm not making the same money, but the peace of mind is incredible. I'm not stressing about money. I'm not stressing about...
In 200 meters, slide right onto Friedrichstrasse.
Paying for these tour buses, or paying for the rigs, or paying for the...
Slide right onto Friedrichstrasse.
Production, what's going on at the end of the night at the arena. There's so much that goes into it. And to be able to just walk into a club and focus on, let me just be funny and have fun.
Yeah.
So...
It's a great way to write a new hour, too.
Yeah, and I love the fact that when I'm doing these clubs, everybody's a lot more excited. First of all, the staff is incredible. No matter where I'm going, everybody's been super great.
Continue for 1 kilometer.
And the crowds have been super appreciative that they can watch an intimate show like that. Because even if you're sitting in the back row of the club, at an arena, that's like row 3.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's been a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed it. And it reminded me how much I love this, because I think at a certain point, I became a hoe. I became a hoe, and it became more about the money. Because, dude, once the money started coming, it's like you get scared because it's so much, and it's coming at you from all these different angles. You're having these meetings, and they're going over your portfolio, and we got to invest this, and we got to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, my God. And now, I have employees. I never had employees, and now I employ like 30 people, which is insane, and if I stop working, they all stop working. So then it turns into this thing where, you feel almost like you're obligated to work even more to take care of everybody else.
That's Bert Kreischer.
Oh,
Yeah.
So when I told my team I want to do clubs for half a year, they were not happy about it. And they're like, you're missing out. You really, you got to strike while the iron's hot.
No, they're missing out.
But
they're missing out.
They're not, they see one thing, and as creatives, it's very different.
Yeah, but
and
they have to not give you creative advice. That's very important.
But that's not creative
people.
advice. It's financial.
Right, but creative for you is I need to fill my creative void. I want to go out there and fuck around. I want to have a good time. That's the creative aspect of it. When you're doing a show, you got a show. There's 15,000 people in there. It's a show. It's a different kind of thing. You're not going to, like, really write in front of 15,000 people. You write and fuck around in front of a small crowd. Like, it's a creative choice. And they're wrong anyway. Like, you ain't getting off that wave, son. You don't have to worry about that wave. Riding the wave. You'll be on that wave for the rest of your life. You don't have to worry about that wave.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that wave at all. They can relax. You can take a year off and get off fucking Instagram and Twitter and just vanish for a year and come back and crush it. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
That was the one thing about COVID is I had never taken a break that long from comedy, ever.
It's amazing how much energy you have when you have to work every night.
Yeah. Well, it's very good. You can actually get on a schedule. Like, you know, for me, I've always dealt with the weight issue. It's always been a thing for me. But being home for a year and actually being able to focus, and I had a trainer and everything, I was able to lose 70 pounds.
Nice.
See, all the doctors that I've been avoiding because I've been on the road, I've actually got to go see everybody and find out how I was doing.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was helpful. I never take time off, ever. I work all the time. I'm on the road 46 weeks out of the year.
Well, you always have been. That's always been your reputation. That's why, you know, we were always talking about even at the Ice House shows. Crazy. Guys doing 4 shows.
The 2 p.m. kid show, yeah.
Ridiculous. Nobody does that. Nobody does 4 shows in a day. That's insane.
And I used to do the shows, and then as soon as I'd get off stage, I'd go outside and do a full-blown meet and greet.
Oh,
I would meet every single, like, do the show, do a meet and greet, and then by the time the meet and greet was over, it was time for me to go back up on stage.
Oh, my God.
And so I was doing that, you know. I was doing that every week forever. But I think that's also what helped to build everything up.
100%. 100%.
You're engaging with people.
Yeah, real grassroots. You were, like, really getting out there and hanging out. We used to always do that at the Ice House, have those meet and greets afterwards. Hang out, talk to people. That's a great club. That setup back there is amazing. Just that little...
Have you been there recently?
No, I haven't. I haven't been when it's remodeled. I heard.
The buses did an amazing job with it. It's very modern. Part of it is like they killed certain things that kind of made it the club, where now it feels a little bit more. It's too
corporate,
clean. It's too clean.
I don't know why they would fuck with it. It was literally perfect.
There's a skybox in the back of the room. Literally a skybox in the back of the room. And if it's the room for the comics to chill in, it's badass. It's the greatest green room ever. But it's now considered a VIP room in the back, and there's like a glass,
So it's a place where people could just talk.
Yeah.
While you're on stage.
Talk, or you just.
So that's what it looks like
back there.
Oh, that's weird.
So the room still.
Well, I remember that room. So they just basically opened that room up because it used to be that room was closed off.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like the room's any smaller.
No. The room is the same size, and it's still fun. It's still fun to perform in there. It's just very different. And as somebody that spent years going there, to all of a sudden see, you enter through the front, through the street, whereas before you'd enter through the alley.
Oh, interesting.
And then the bar. I mean, everything just looks really, really nice. They
Better route available.
changed it, but.
In 200 meters, turn right onto Oster Alley.
Like, if you're the oldest club in the country, man, you gotta look like, a little bit more classic.
Yeah,
so
old school.
A lot of the changes, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, the skybox is a weird choice, but whatever. Maybe it works. Like I said, that was just a closed off room before. Mm-hmm. Remember? You wouldn't even be able to see the stage. It was like mirrors back there.
No, it was just, it's the little wall.
Yeah.
And then the room behind it was like a dining.
What did they do with the little room? Is it that little room?
So the little room, they actually made the little room bigger, and they're making it so that they can have jazz and live music. It actually looks really cool, but again, it's not the old Ice House.
Right.
It's not the old Ice House.
Nostalgia.
So,
nostalgia.
Yeah, no, there's no more nostalgia. Everything's new, clean, and just pretty.
Well, listen, I'm just happy that someone dumped a bunch of money into it.
Fixed it, and finally reopened it.
And wants good comedy there, Are they doing like headliners on the weekend? How are they doing it? Are they doing it like?
Well, I don't think it's set up as a showcase like Melrose or the other clubs and stuff. It's definitely headliners on the weekend.
Yeah, when you're talking about like outside of LA, there's Pasadena, there's Comedy Magic, there's a few other. There's always like Irvine, but then you're far out. Now you're going pretty far,
And those clubs are definitely headliners.
Yeah.
There are no showcases.
There's no like real comedy clubs or showcase clubs are outside of the city, right?
Not really.
Once you get past like the ha-ha, you know, what else you got?
You know, I mean,
Flappers.
I was at Flappers a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was fun. Again, you know,
great room.
these rooms, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, it was so much fun. Just went out there and had a good time.
Yeah, Flappers is a great room, but it's a weird room. Like, where whenever I would go there, I'm like, who are you guys? Like, I don't know any of you. It's
And
weird.
now it's just one
Comics.
owner. It's Barbara.
Oh, I mean the comics.
Oh, okay.
It's
I'm
like
sorry.
a lot of the comics. Like, where else do you guys work? Like, I never see you anywhere. It's weird. There was like a specific group that was always at Flappers. I was like, this is a strange little group of people. You know, people find their little cliques.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like back in the day, you knew everybody. You knew who was doing it, and you knew where they were at.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I blink, there's 10 more comics. It's like, wow, there's so many.
Blame podcasts.
Ah, nice.
That's what it is. So many people listen to podcasts like, damn, I want to do that. Sounds like fun. You think of it like, also you hear the people in podcasts like, these guys are kind of stupid. I think I could do better than that.
Turn right onto Ostra Alley.
It's always, I think I can do better than that.
Yeah, always.
You know, part of it's making it look easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they're like, oh,
In 600 meters, slide left onto Zorfienstrasse.
yeah.
Well, the problem is, like, think about what you do. You go up there and you talk. Well, everybody can talk. Like, it's confusing. So, like, a person in the audience, like, I can talk too. How come he gets to talk and I don't get to talk? Like, you start thinking that you could do what they do. That's why it's hilarious when you see someone try to go on stage and talk to an audience that's drunk. Like, you think you can go up here and do it? And they go, yeah. And they get up there and they're like, freeze like a deer in the headlights. And then they realize, like, how weird it is. But when someone like you is relaxed and on stage, it seems like he's just talking. I can just talk too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easier than it looks.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel fortunate that when I'm on stage, I actually feel more comfortable on stage. Like, I feel like there's nothing I